You're listening to the Serurubele Storyteller Series. This year, Pop Art Theatre teamed up with the Market Theatre Laboratory to bring you 4 new story collections by 18 young storytellers. All you need to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy. This is Lost and Found.
What it is? What's up? It's your boy Thato, Terry the mail for the babies. This is not a chicken, it's a rooster podcast. The spinning wheeler is here. Aphrodime is here.
Crazy.
Lala is here.
It's your girl.
Mncedisi is here.
Hola.
And this is not a chicken, it's a rooster podcast. And today we're looking at the topic. Which topic is this one?
Lost and
Lost
found.
We're looking at Lost and Found. And each and every one of us, I want to tell you guys a story. Looking at that topic, we're gonna spin a wheeler, and whoever the thing he points at starts. Right?
Crazy.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah.
Excited? Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's spin the wheel.
Oh. It's Lala. Okay, right. Here we go. So, growing up, right, I was always in trouble. Like, every month, every week, every day, basically every second. I was in trouble for losing things. So it started off with something small like a pen, and then it became a spoon, and then it became itapawe. And then one day, out of nowhere, I lost a shoe. Like, so confusing. It's not even one shoe. It's not even 2 shoes. It's 1 shoe. Fine. I didn't know how I was going to explain that to my mom. I didn't know what I was going to do. But anyway, when I explained that I had lost my shoe, she's like to me, "You make sure you lose one more thing one more time, girl. Just go and lose it and see. And let me show you how I got the scars on my legs. One more thing, one more time." Oh, guys, the threat killed me. It wasn't kind. I was scared. I was like, those scars. And trust me, her scars are hectic. They're hectic. So I was like, nope. From that day, I vowed not to lose a single thing again. And it worked. I mean, I got all the way to grade 3, having lost nothing. And everything was working. My life was in control. I was amazing. I mean, I was captain of the under 10 netball team. My cheerleading audition was looking great and ready and cute for my audition in grade 4. Like, I was a top achiever, so things were going great. Okay. Until one thing happened. The West. I had a netball match with Marlborough Primary. Guys, I knew we were gonna win that game. I was so excited because I was like, we're gonna sing the victory song at the end. And I didn't know that I was gonna sing the death song 2 minutes after. Homegirl lost her jersey. A whole entire school jersey. Now tell me, how do I explain to my mom, 250 down the drain, I lost my school jersey? I was like, no, I have to come up with a plan. There's no way on earth I'm going to go to my mom and say, "Mama, like it." So, Lungile being a smart girl, I was like, yeah, plan. Hey, plan this. Okay, let's do this, let's do that. I'm like, okay, no, my plan's going to work. Sharp. Go to Lost and Found. Yeah. I get there. There's no plan. The plan is just to look for my jersey. I mean, it's supposed to work, right? Yeah. So there I am searching for my jersey. I'm searching every corner, no jersey. No jersey to be found. And I'm so disappointed. That time, Mrs. Rick is outside that door. You've got 5 minutes, Lindy. You've got 5 minutes left. I can't be standing here after school waiting for you to find your jersey. You need to hurry up. And I'm like, oh, guys, what am I going to do? I'm like, okay. So as I get out, I spot something. I spot a jersey that looks new, that looks fresh, that looks tiny. And I'm like, there you have it. That's my jersey. I rush, I pick up the jersey, I look at the label, it's written Orati. Now that's not my name. I'm like, oh my gosh, my size is so new. I thought it's my jersey. What am I going to do? I take it, I throw it there. I go to Miss Rick, and then she asks me, "Did you find your jersey?" And I'm like, no, Mrs. Rick, I didn't find it, but I'll come back tomorrow and look at the last box. My transport is outside. I don't want them to leave me. Last box. Guys, I looked at every corner. I looked at every shelf. I looked at every box. There was no last box, so I don't understand why I lied. But I was like, okay, maybe that's plan B. Maybe that's why I lied. Maybe that's my plan B. So I leave. I go home. Now I'm thinking that, oh my gosh, how am I going to explain to my mom where my jersey is? But then in my head, I just made up like a sob story on some, I changed and then I left it in Mr. Brammel's class. But tomorrow I'll get it because, after school he logged. It's a mess. But then she understands. So here I am at night. 8 o'clock, I have to be in bed. But there I'm thinking, okay, guys, what do I do that jersey? This jersey, yeah. Okay, maybe scissors. No. A knife. Okay, no. Just grab the jersey off. No. Marker. Yes. Just scratch the label and then put Lumi there at the top. I'm like, no. I don't know. Whatever it is that I'm going to do, I'm going to do it. So I get to school the next day, quickly go to my class, throw my bag down, grab my scissors, straight to lost and found. Go in, Mrs. Rick opens, I get inside, I grab that jersey, cut off the label, chuck it under some other clothes there, I put my jersey on, I get out, found it, Miss Rick. Miss Rick is like, okay, great, right, bye. I leave. Yes, bingo. Here I am staring. But guys, everyone was looking at me. Well, at least that's what I thought, Like, I turn the corner, looks like the principal's looking at me. I go there, it looks like my classmates, like everyone, teachers, even the cats that creep around the school. I felt like everybody knew my secret. I felt like everybody knew that I stole. And I'm like, no, it's all in my head. Nobody knows. Sharp. 6 months. I'm winning. I've got this jersey. I'm winning, guys. My plan worked. Yo, ha! Until this one day, we're playing at break, the big field. I see cops at the end of the field. Each and every single cop dressed blue, big, dog on the leash. I'm like, yellow. I am gone, guys. It's over for me. I'm going to prison, and right after I get out of prison, my mom's gonna give me the scars that she has on her legs. Like, it's over for me. We're part of it. Oh, they're gonna arrest me at school, guys. No way. So fine, I let it slide. I stop panicking. I'm like, okay, you're gonna be okay. Then I hear the intercom saying, everybody to assembly. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna arrest me in front of the whole school. Oh my word. Now I'm praying and I'm crying. I'm thinking, okay, let me fake sick. Okay, no, I'm actually sick. So they'll excuse me from assembly, and from then on I can jump the fence and run back to Alex. A plan. But I'm like, okay, I can't do that because I can't keep running forever. Let's go to assembly. We get to assembly. Mrs. Strivett, that was our principal, she addresses and she's talking. And then I'm thinking, oh my word, I can't even hear anything you're saying because just call them already. Just call them to come take me. Just call them to take me. Just like, can we get it over and done with? Put the cuffs on. It's done. Okay, it's done. I get, and the man goes up on stage, the cop. I'm like, yeah, no, I am going to pee on myself. Gets to the mic, testing. Hello. Just say. And then he just goes, so Gibson Drive, there were robbers that broke into a house and they came into your school, making your school a crime spot. Yeah? a crime spot. Oh, so it's the whole school got as a crime spot. I'm not the criminal. So I'm excited. I'm like, yay, my plan worked. No one is gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. I'm good. I succeeded. But I kind of always had that thing, going forward. That feeling of so much guilt, why would you do that? Why did you lie? Why did you, you should have just told the truth from get-go and taken the responsibility. Should have just told your mom and let her give you the scars. Like, you know what? You should have just come clean. So another thing that I realized is that a lot of people go through things, old, young. It's just a different way in which you go through it. For older people, younger people don't have problems. For younger people, older people don't have problems, and everyone has problems. And I saw with that such a huge responsibility, and I was so scared, but I had to, go through it. So one thing I took from that experience of my life is just rather take the punishment up front, deal with the consequence up front instead of living with a lie. Yeah.
And now we're gonna spin the wheel again.
Sure. Me too. So my story goes like this, yabo. It was on the 24th of December, 2019. It was me and my relatives. We were on our way to my grandmother's funeral, yabo. So yeah, in Kandla, in KZN. I was with my two cousin brothers and Uncle Chris. We were traveling on a Toyota Avanza with groceries for the funeral, yabo. So it was packed. That I couldn't see, yabo, my other side, but I just see the window. Yeah, yeah. So it was only there. Yeah. So while we were traveling, we left around 5 in Johannesburg, and we were traveling late at night. So we were following Uncle Kumete. Uncle Kumete and his family knew where the place is. My grandparents just moved to KZN, so it was unfortunate that my first visit was on my grandmother's funeral. Yeah. So as much as it was a sad trip for us, we made sure we enjoyed, and we listened to music. We had some pizza, stopped at the garage in Standerton for a pee and refreshments. We sang our favorite songs, with my cousins, and you could see that as much as we were having fun, we all have lost the most precious person in our lives. Our grandmother was more than just a granny, but she was more of a friend to us, a comforter, and she loved singing. And I was pretty much sure that at that moment, she was happy to see that we are celebrating her life just the way she used to now. She celebrated by singing and rejoicing. So we left the garage, and after crossing the Blood River, Enorme River, Uncle Kumete started speeding up. And then we tried catching up with him until we couldn't see the car anymore. So it was very late at night, around 11 p.m. And we took a short left, because the reason for us for taking that short left, it was because we spoke to Uncle Kumete, and he told us that right after crossing the Nome River, we're going to go straight and going to turn somewhere. So we assumed this is where he turned, because we couldn't see the car anymore. So we traveled for like 1 kilometer, and then we realized the time, we are lost, and we are in the middle of nowhere. So we really needed to do something very fast before things get worse. So as we tried calling Uncle Kumete, a group of cars tried stopping us, and we realized that their number plates are filtered with. They used mud to cover the numbers and letters and so on all of their car registrations. So it was hectic. We concluded that we are about to be hijacked now. Yeah. And we told Uncle Chris to speed up. Speed up, Uncle Chris, speed up. And he sped up. And for a moment, it felt like we are part of some horror movie. An action movie. We're trying to save our lives. So, but the road was too narrow and the cars were too many. So Uncle Chris had to stop. And then he stopped. They came out of their vehicles with guns. R4, it was the first time seeing the gun. Even my cousins, R4. It was the first time seeing those kind of guns. And they spoke to Uncle Chris and they told him that you bumped into one of our vehicles, so we must follow them, so that we can talk about this. And then we don't remember bumping into any car, and it was awkward for us, but we had to agree that we bumped because they have guns. So yeah, and we don't. Yeah, so they told us not to try anything stupid or else they are going to shoot us. They went as far as telling us that if we call for help, they are basically going to kill us. So we needed to follow their orders and so on, and not try anything stupid. So basically, they held us hostage. So while we were following them, I tried calling the police. I mean, come on, they didn't send anyone to come and drive with us. So yeah, I put the phone on loudspeaker. And as I was calling, everyone was against that in the car. Don't do that. They're going to shoot us. I told them, man, you can't see, man, and I want to save my life. So that's the only thing that made sense to me. And yeah, I started calling, and the lady answered, asked for my details and situation. I told her. Now I have to tell her my location, which I don't have any idea of. And she got frustrated as fuck. She was panicking also, and I started panicking too. And I just dropped the call, and I realized that the police cannot help us now. There's no hope. And for a moment, I felt my world falling apart. And the faith that I had at that moment, it got lost. And I looked at everyone in the car, and I could see that they're also disappointed as I am. And right now, there's nothing that we can do to save our lives. So everyone in the car started panicking now, and I remember telling them that we are going to die now. There's nothing we can do now, we should just give in. And I remember texting my then girlfriend, telling her, I love her. And then her response was, baby, are you okay? The reason for her sending that message to me is that like a few seconds, like minutes until moments back, Jamie sent her that kind of message, before this thing happened. So like she was amazed with her. Why am I sending it again now? She tried checking up on me with her, are you okay? And then I replied with, yes, I am. And I want you to remember that if tomorrow never comes, I love you so much. I tried playing my Shakespearean just to impress her. And I could see that now she's typing. So I decided to turn off my data because the way the cars were moving now, it was clear. We'd see, okay, they're about to stop. So, and remember what they said to us. They told us not to try anything stupid. So I had to hide my phone so that I would not put my family's life on danger. Yeah. So we stopped and we looked at each other for a moment. The moment has arrived, and reality kicks in now. It's yes, things are about to go down, And then Uncle Chris got off the car, and as he was approaching the man, Uncle Kumete appears. How? And then B1 was going to Now I realized his car was parked besides the road. It seems like they were waiting for us. Even the hazards were on. So I couldn't see the car also because the car was packed with groceries. Remember, so I couldn't see that other side. So yeah. So yeah, I saw Uncle Kumete, and then he approached the man. He was brave, and the reason why he was that brave, he couldn't see that these guys are armed. They hid their guns on Twitter. They were wearing leather jackets and all of that, and they had sticks with them. So yeah, young Todd. So he approached them and he tried talking to them. And as they were having that conversation, other men assessed our car, young Todd and Uncle Kumete's car. And I think them seeing the little children in Uncle Kumete's car and the whole family and all of that, like it gave them a different thought, because now they then told us they are taxi operators, and they tried stopping us and we sped away, and that's why they were angry at us and threatened our lives. So, but it doesn't make sense. Why would you stop when in a mysterious place at night, and by that time you can't even identify who is stopping you? So it didn't make sense to us, right? So yeah, but for a moment I felt relieved. I just got out of the car to take a pee, and right there I thank God for saving our lives, man. And my family would have went through the worst if the worst happened in that scenario. I mean, and I also imagine losing, your family, and while you are burying another loved one, it was going to be a painful experience for us. So yeah, and I went back into the car now, and my cousin started laughing, and I could see that they found a sense of relief now, and hope was restored, right? Because we are alive now, and if Uncle Kumete didn't appear from nowhere, what would have happened to us? So we then told them, we are going to a funeral, we did not take any of your commuters on our way, because taxi operators normally, when you travel in the Avanza, they conclude that you are illegally operating on their road. So one even insisted, you would say, you are lying, he couldn't believe. I think maybe he wanted them to continue doing whatever that they wanted to do to us, but the majority believed us and they decided to let us go. And that's how we were lost and found in a mysterious place.
Spinning the wheel again. Come on, man. Which one? So I grew up in Free State, right? I'm a Free State boy, right? I grew up in Bloemfontein. I grew up in a small town called Freedom Square, right? Freedom Square is it's really small. Everyone kind of knows each other there, you know. And I went to Sanlam Boys Primary School. Hey, we had the weirdest uniforms, man. The uniform was brown too. It was brown with white lines on the collar and grey trousers. I was really comfortable with that. So when I was 6 years old, I had a bully, right?
Yeah.
And each time this guy would hit me, I would run back to my mom and tell her, and my mom would hit me again. This is how I knew that I had a bully.
Sure.
Every Fridays we used to wear at school. Every Fridays we used to wear casual clothes. They call it CVs. And we would pay 5 rands for that thing, right? And next to the school there was a shopping center where we would go every Friday and play arcade games, Pac-Man, and Mustafa, So this one time on a Friday, this guy came. He was bigger than me. He was scarier than me. He had an entourage. He was a senior. He found me playing games there, and he pushed me, and he teased me, and he called me games. You're a small boy. And I was like, At that time, I'm cool. I'm the coolest guy.
Hello.
I used to have nicknames back in primary.
Yeah.
They used to call me Daddy Cool, Mr. Ace, Tell the name, and for the babies. So this guy pushed me. And I was like, no, there's no way. I don't want to lose my cool. This guy can't just push me around. The next Friday, this guy came again with his entourage. They came down. And this guy was like, you understand? I want to play a game. Give me 1 rand. And I was like, I don't have money. He pushed me. And I pushed him back. And his boys were like, yo. And at that time I felt like, I stayed as me. Just I'm there, you understand?
Yeah.
Hey, this guy pushed me again, and I pushed him back. He slapped me. Just That's the one that has the sound. He slapped me again. This guy didn't slap me once. He slapped me once, 2 times, and 10 times. And I went to tell my mom. Each time I go and tell my mom would tell me, Mama, stand up for yourself. Or she would hit me for not standing up for myself. And I was like, hey, man, what am I going to do now? I remember just sitting at home and watching Drunken Master, right? I'm 6 years old at this time. I'm like, hey, no. You know what? I'm going to stand up for myself. This guy comes, I'm ready. I'm Jet Li now. I'm Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
He came. I was ready that time. I was like, touch me, you'll see. Touch me, you'll see. He touched me, pushed him back, and started fighting. Hey, we fought. That day we fought. I trapped him. And I won. These boys are even there. They looked at me. They were like, I had like a status man in school, because all the boys would brag about their fights. Hey, Baba, Thato fought. Hey, Baba, Smanman, remember? Smanman beat you. You understand?
Yeah.
That time I had status now. I won that fight. And he ran and told his mom. His mom came, fuming. And she was shouting, why is he? Oh, my guy. Come on. And his mom started shouting, and someone went and called my mom. So my mom is like, what's happening now? My mom at first, she wanted to hear what this woman has to say. So she comes. So my mom is like a really spiritual woman. She's chill. She's a people's person. Everyone knows her. She's like, she's not into those fighty things. So she comes. She's like, Thato. So I can't explain. I'm like,
Yeah.
This is, you can see for yourself. This woman is busy shouting at me. I don't know how. This woman can't talk properly to my mom. Understand? I don't know how. It's busy. Oh, it's a manaka. And this woman grabs me. Hey, my mom went crazy. My mom lost it. She lost the cool. She pulled the sleeves up. She was like, come on, Naka. Come on, Naka. We can't. There's no way.
Yeah.
And my mom, they didn't like physically fight. They were just going at each other with weights. Hey, you can't do this. Why? Respect. That time, I'm there at the corner. I'm like, what's happening? Yeah, my mom is standing up for me. And that's the exact moment I realized that, hey, my mom would lose anything for me. Because these women knew each other. They were in some sort of like a stock film. You understand? So these women knew each other. But this time, it was like, it was boiling. You understand? So I'm like, yeah, I know. My mom would do it. She'd lose money. She'd lose friendship. She'd lose relationship. Stock film for me. Bro. Understand? So, but yeah, even till this day, they still haven't reconciled. That's one thing she lost. But one thing she found is that how to communicate better. Understand? Humble yourself. Understand? Don't just jump into conclusions. Ask first what's happening. That's one thing that I also found in that altercation. Hey, when you're faced with something, just ask what's happening. You know, before you even jump into conclusions. So yeah, man.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Obvious. So you guys remember the lost and found box that Louis touched on earlier on, right?
Yeah.
Well, unlike her, I never lost my things. But I would constantly go there to check, even when I knew I hadn't lost anything.
Yeah.
Or maybe I had lost my sense of belonging, you know? So traveling back to my matric year in 2017, I wish I had it more enjoyable than anything, you know? I really hated that year with my all. I found myself having to contend with having a life and just giving it all up, you know? Firstly, it's my grades. And you guys know, I get the grades are like the most important thing, you know, they're like the highlights because of uni applications and everything. These grades just kept on dropping with each academic test, with each exam, test of life's exam. I swear those grades were out to get me. Because, I mean, imagine looking at a report card which does not at all speak to your well-known capabilities. You know? And I didn't just sit back. You know, I worked. I was allocated tutors. I would attend afternoon extra classes. I even had Saturday school, but all of that was in vain. So this mark just keeps on dropping, and in that journey of putting in extra hours to pull up my socks, I could just feel my mental strength slowly deteriorating, you know, slowly letting in thoughts of hurting myself and committing suicide, you know. On that note, I'm actually reminded of those days where I would find myself taking evening walks in hopes of just getting her to go to passage, you know. Sometimes I would throw myself in traffic with just the hope of getting knocked off by a car. And I did have my fair share of those days where I would try to swallow pills or because I'm in a texting, you know. I also remember this one time where I left my house way too early to go catch a taxi to school. So Nikikena Jones, and from D-Town to Jones, it's like a distance, you know. So at the time, I was not on good terms with my family. So I would just always make sure I get ready for school and get away from home as soon as I could, you know. So in my twisted mind at the time, firstly, it was winter. So we all know Lizati takes some time, you know, for you know. So on this day, it just so happened that I had the wrong time on my phone. And I actually left the house at 5 a.m., which was actually my wake-up time. In my twisted mind, I'm thinking, you know what? This is actually the day that the Lord has chosen. It's like it's almost joy and I'll go heaven. You understand? You know? And this was due to the fact that Josie, as we might know, is no favorite place. Especially where I'd get off. It was like somewhat dodgy and like had a few dodgy people. You know? I actually had this one guy approach me. And in my head, I was like, I want to own it.
I'm gonna resist. Just so he can, like, I don't know, chop a smack down me, or he can stab me or something, you know? Because at the time, all I wanted was just an escape from everything that was happening. Instead, one guy comes to me. He's like, yeah, hello. You know, don't be like me now. You've got a very bright future ahead. You go to school and show them, okay? And I'm just there like, dude, you really missed the point of this whole, meetup. What's happening? So, yeah, I had a scholarship back then, which I worked so hard for. So you can imagine how hard it was to just slip away from the grip of my delicate hands. And just the pain of seeing so much fall away from you, my hard work, my resilience, my ambition, my confidence, my smile, my love. It was just something that I never thought I'd come back from, I was literally that one sock that you'd usually find in that lost and found box, the one that had no partner or an owner to claim it. So of course it was suggested that I go for counseling. Hated it. Deal breaker, I was actually forced to attend these sessions with the school psychologist. As if to add more paraffin to the fire. Me throw back one. Decides, for one day, I'm gonna show off got the problems that this girl. Oh girl, break. How? Intercom. Kifenzi Mukuna in 12E, please report to Sally Sutner's office after break. She said that twice. As if how Gakhala the first time. I was just like, why would you do that? That was literally a slap across my face. I just couldn't get it. Now I'm not saying it does not help attending these sessions, but I just felt like no one understands. And the psychologist was basically telling me about things I already knew or methods I had already tried, So, okay, cool. Nothing was worth looking forward to. Not even the matric dance. I remember I had to ask for donations to pay to go there. Money for the dress, the shoes, hairstyle, it was a lot. But I made it. But I wasn't happy still. It was a beautiful dress that I wore. Didn't fit me, but I'm grateful. As for my hair, yes, it's not the hair that doing me bad. It was something else. But I suck it up, even with my one size a bit bigger stiletto. Thanks to my core and balance, I actually pulled through for the night.
Yes,
and just told myself, you know what? Try to live in the moment, I honestly do yearn for a second chance just so I can at least have most of what I had on my wish list ticked off. I just feel like the clear vision I had of that night kind of like perished on paper. And then there came a day where I received the letter of the termination of my scholarship. This is the letter that I dreaded, yet accepted a long time it was coming, how do you take that hit of just having to explain to everyone who has always spoken so highly of you? How do you explain to them that, hey, I've lost my ticket to a better life, It really hurt having to explain myself and having to explain myself whilst dealing with this mental state that I was in, right? So as I said, I could feel my scholarship slipping away, and that meant my coordinator as well. And this was someone, she was my pillar of strength at the time. So she lived to go Cape Town. And every time when she would call, I'd be crying on the phone and whatnot, and she would immediately book a flight just so she could fly in the next day, just to be like, hey, it's gonna be okay and all that. So this termination of the scholarship meant that she was gone too. And I was driven to fantasize and obsess more about death more than anything. But there were some hidden places of my imagination that I could still access, places which had a bit of silver lining, within them. Those really saved me. Just like people's belongings in that lost and found box, I had hoped to be found, to be reunited with certain parts of my being. I mean, we are built to contend with the world, and I feel like I won the title.
Yes,
Yeah.
girl. Yes, girl.
As my name translates, I conquered.
Yeah.
So, January 2018 matric results are out. Hey, your girl is out there. I'm looking for my name now. I'm giving the number there. And I'm hoping for an HC, right? A higher certificate, because I was like, girl, you felt dismally. Because I remember when we would write the exams, like I'd just see blank all the time. Luckily, or rather to my surprise, I got up with the diploma. And when I calculated my scores, I was actually a few points from obtaining a bachelor. Right? So I guess this was my silver lining, and just thinking about how I endured so much pain in the last years. This was just another symbol of just how my name always comes through for me, So in that year, I just knew one thing. I hate school, and it hates me. I found myself working at an internet cafe. I hated it. Until somebody, approached me and they were like, how about you come through to the arts center and try acting? I was like, hello, I'm a doctor now. I'm a physiotherapist. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Go through acting. Until I took it upon myself, to just go and check it out. And that's where I found my peace. That's where I just found my long lost love, and it's been my sanctuary ever since, and it continues to be my sanctuary. So that's what's up.
Yay!
Hey man, you know what they say, man. Another day, another story. This has been, it's not a chicken, it's a rooster podcast. From stealing a jersey to almost being kidnapped to winning a scholarship to hitting the high score in the arcade game. Man, you know what they say. Closing it off with a quote from a modern day poet, the best to ever do it. I'm the best because I'm still doing it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not what you've lost. It is what you found.
Yes! Woo!